are here again, bringing you excerpts from our World Book Day. This time I have 5 amazing children from grade school. They are amazing. They'll be doing us book reviews, short book reviews. We're looking at some books they've read. Firstly, I said there are 5. Firstly, with me here is
Kenan, grade 1. Ofwafo, grade 5. Gideon, grade 5. Fossa, grade 5. Odosa, grade 5.
Thank you so much. We'll make this as quick as we can do it. Firstly, Kenan, how are you?
Fine.
Kenan, how are you?
Fine.
Okay. Kenan, what's the name of the book you've read in most recent times? Do you love books, Kenan?
Yes.
Yes, you love books. Okay, what's the name of the last storybook you read?
Storybook.
Dory's storybook.
Yes.
Can you speak up a little? Can you speak up? So what's the name of the book?
Dory's storybook.
Dory's storybook. Can you remember the author? Do you know who an author is? Who is an author? The person that writes the book. The author of Dory's storybook is Jerry Palota. Jerry Palota. What's the book about? Can you tell us the story? What's Dory's storybook about?
It's about how her parents didn't want her to get away from them, and she got away from them because she wanted to find a new friend to come with her because she likes new friends.
Wow, she wanted a new friend and she disobeyed her parents.
Yes.
Wow, is it good to disobey our parents?
Yes, and she asked people for
directions
of her house, and they didn't know, so they went away, and she was very sad.
She was very sad. But I asked you a question: is it good for us to disobey our parents?
No.
No. So what happened to Dory? Did she get lost?
She found a new friend, but they didn't know, so they were going for a way to get connected, but the only way was in quarantine.
Quarantine? Wow. She got quarantined?
Yes, and next she got back to her parents because she followed the trail of a trail of the shell.
The trail of a shell?
Yes, and she got back to her parents.
Wow. What kind of shell was it?
It was like crab shells.
Crab shells.
And she saw some crabs under it, and she followed the trails back to her parents.
Wow, those were amazing crabs, don't you think so?
Yes.
Thank God for crabs that came our way. Else she would have gotten missing forever.
Yes.
And her parents would have felt very, very sad.
Yes.
So what do you learn from the story?
I learned that she should not go back to her. She should not disobey her parents and never leave from her parents.
Yes, we should never disobey our parents and we should never leave home on our own. Thank you so much, Kenan. You're amazing. I love to read the book too. Will you lend me your book? Dory's storybook. Thank you, Kenan. That's Kenan, grade 1. I'm so proud of you, Kenan. Efosa, what book have you read?
I've read Gulliver's Travels.
Gulliver's Travels. Who's the author of Gulliver's Travels? So, Efosa, what book have you read?
I've read Gulliver's Travels.
Okay, your most recent book is Gulliver's Travels. Okay, is it Gulliver's Travels or Gulliver Travels?
Gulliver Travels.
Travels, yes. What's the book? Who is the author of the book?
The author of the book is Jonathan Swift.
Jonathan Swift. That's good. Jonathan Swift. What's the book about?
The book is about a man.
Okay.
Who was going on a journey to a place. So, but his ship, the current got, and the boat got capsized.
Okay, capsized. Okay.
Then he woke up, realizing that he was tied to the ground.
Wow, he was tied to the ground.
By a bunch of other men who were smaller than him. They thought he was a giant because they were very tiny.
They were more of midgets.
Yes, in his perspective. in his perspective, he thought that they were little and tiny, but in their perspective, they thought that he was a giant and they were endangered because of him.
Okay, that was why they tied him down.
Yes.
Okay.
Then they took him back to their town. They locked him up. Then he pleaded with them not to make him stay here. Then they let him go, and he became their friends.
Okay.
The others who wanted to attack, he helped his friend battle them and fight them off.
Okay, Ofafo, it's like you've read the book, and it's like you have another perspective. You have something to say about Gulliver Travels.
Yes.
Okay.
Like Efosa said, they let him go, but they made sure he didn't try and escape. So they tied something more like it has sharp edges and it's a round ball. They tied it to a chain and tied it to his leg, so he could not run away.
Okay.
He became their friend gradually. They started getting along, so they removed the chain from his leg. He helped them different things they could not do by themselves. And then other people who wanted to own the other people's territory,
The immediate territory.
the immediate territory, began a fight against them. Since Gulliver was big in.
So obviously, it's not just because of perspective. Was Gulliver really a giant?
I don't know.
really think so. It's alright. Thank you very much. I'll put it to a stop here. What kind of story is Gulliver Travels?
Kind of story about.
Is it fiction or non-fiction? What genre? It's a fiction. Okay, thank you very much, Ofafo and Efosa. Gideon, how are you, Gideon, today? Okay, Gideon, tell us the book you've read.
I've read Izozo the Great Hunter.
Izozo the Great Hunter. Who is the author of Izozo the Great Hunter?
Emmanuel Chukwudi Ibekwe.
Oh wow, that's good. What kind of story is Izozo the Great Hunter?
It's a non-fiction.
Non-fiction. Are you serious?
No, a fiction.
It's a fiction. It's a fictional piece. Fictional piece. What's the story about, basically?
The story is about a little boy who lost his father and his mother, so he was staying with his grandparents.
So that makes him, if he lost his father and his mother, that makes him like an orphan.
Yes.
Okay, continue.
So his grandfather was a hunter.
Okay.
Who was teaching me how to hunt. They go to the forest at night. So one day, his grandfather thought that he has taught him enough because his grandfather was already old. He allowed him go to the forest himself. When he was in the forest, at first he saw a leopard. He was able to kill the leopard, but it was very difficult for him because he left his sword at his back and he decided to put on his lamp, put off his lamp. But he remembered that his grandfather said that cats see very well at night. So he put on his lamp.
His headlamp.
His headlamp to the leopard's eye. So the leopard was trying to beat the light, but he bent down and picked his sword and pinned it to the ground. So he killed it. As he was going again, he also saw another animal, but he forgot his sword again. So he said, as he said, let him go and get his sword. When he came back, he did not see the animal again. So he carried the leopard and went. When he came back, the villager was very surprised. He caught a very big leopard. So later he became a very great hunter. Now the gorilla that killed his father, he killed the gorilla.
Okay, so what's basically what did you learn from this book?
I learned that we should be brave.
We should be brave. Okay, thank you very much. Oh, those are your next. What book have you read in recent times?
I Love You Forever.
I Love You Forever. What kind of book is it? What genre of literature would you think that
Fiction.
it's fiction? Okay. It's fiction. Who is the author of the book?
Robert Munch.
Robert Munch. Okay, tell us about the book.
It's about a lady that gave birth to a baby. She loved that baby so much. But as the baby grew, it's like when he became 1 year old, he trashed her toilet, threw the paper.
Trashed the toilet?
Yes. He threw toilet paper all around into the toilet, and then he threw her $1,000 wristwatch into the toilet and flushed it down. She was very angry with him. She felt like she was in a zoo. She wanted to go insane. And then when he became a young child, he always went to the kitchen, went to the dining table, always filled the cups, broke everything that he saw. But every night that he's asleep, she would open his door, crawl to his bed, pick him up, and rock him back and forth slowly and sing, "I love you forever, I'll like you for always, as long as I'm living, my
Did they sing the song in the book?
No, they don't put any lyrics, no sounds. I just put in my own words.
Wow, that's amazing. Okay.
So when he became a teenager, like 13, 12, he never bathed, he never came to dining table to eat breakfast. He always went with his baseball and his bat, just left the house.
Why do you think he turned out this way since his mom loved him so much?
I don't know. He just changed. The mother thought he was his friend.
From the story you're telling me, he has always been like this.
Yes.
So what do you think was wrong?
She thought it was his friends.
Friends?
Yes,
But
at school.
He was a naughty 1 year old.
Yes.
So what was responsible?
She thought it was his friends, and at the same time, she thought that he not outgrow that naughtiness in him.
Okay.
And then when he became an adolescent, he always invited his friend over, ate pizza, and started using a lamp. Removed the lamp, that thing that covers the light bulb, and started using it to sing. And he broke a lot of things, and he always just ate pizza and threw it around the house. But then she grew old, and she never stopped singing this lullaby to him and always rocking it back and forth every time he slept, every night, whenever he did something bad to her. So as she grew, he became an adult. He moved out of her house, rented his own house. He bought kittens. So his mother grew old, and then one night as he was asleep, the mother drove her car to his house, opened the car door, entered his house, went up the stairs, went to his bedroom, crawled on the ground, and carried him and walked him back and forth.
Even as an adult?
Yes, and sang that lullaby to him. So a few months after that, she was very sick, and she could not come to him.
The story is very interesting.
Yeah, she could not come to him to at least sing or meet him for anything. So he went to her, and then he went to her house that night and carried her and rocked her back and forth slowly, just like she always did when he was small. And then the next year, she had passed away, and he was very sad. But then he had a young daughter of his own, and then he always did that thing to her, just like his mother always did it to him.
So basically, what did you do?
What I learned from the story is toleration, love, tolerance, love, and whenever you do something good to somebody, you will always get something better in return.
Yeah, your story is so emotional. Mm-hmm. Thank you so much. Finally, it's been amazing. Finally, Ofafo, tell us about your book.
The name of the book is called Oliver Twist.
Oliver Twist. I love the story.
The author of the book is Charles Dickens.
Charles Dickens. Okay.
So now, Oliver was...
Okay, tell us about the story, sorry.
Literally, his mother, when she gave birth to him, she died, she passed out. And his father passed away, and his father had died many years ago.
So that made him
an orphan, and
another orphan story, yes.
And a pauper, because he became a a problem because he was not rich. So
of course, children are not rich. His parents were not rich.
Yes, his parents were not rich. So the orphanage people took him. He was taken to an orphanage. He was living there. But the food the person always gave him wasn't much. Wasn't enough. The boy and other boys were there too. They had a plan to see who would go and ask the cook for more food. But as Oliver was, he was the unlucky one because he got the shortest stick.
Okay.
As he asked the cook got really angry, beat him up, and told the orphanage owner about what he did. They took him.
So it was kind of abominable.
Yes.
For Oliver to have asked for more.
Yes.
How sad is that?
So sad.
So sad.
He went to a court where the judge was asking him different questions. The owner, cause he made him angry. He met somebody that sweeps, that cleans. Those days they had something called a chimney.
Okay, chimney.
Yes.
Chimney.
So he was a chimney sweeper. Whoever saw him, the guy wasn't kind of nice. Like, his eyes were red. He was dark and aggressive. So they had to take him to the court so they can sign the agreement in giving Oliver to the chimney sweep. But
okay, so basically, please, and summary, what's the story of Oliver Twist? Is it a sad story?
It's like a sad and happy story.
Okay, sad and happy story. Okay.
Because when I read the story, he was treated so badly. He almost committed murder because of the next person, the third person he went to be working for. Then he escaped. He escaped from the place where he was working. He checked a mile. At first, he thought he was going to be caught. So he kept on running and running and running till he felt that he has gone too far. He checked on a limestone which rode 70 miles to London.
Did he eventually get to London?
He eventually did, but I think that's so long for someone to trek.
It's a whole lot of distance.
Yes.
Do you think orphans have to still go through such harsh treatment today?
No.
Okay, you think things are better off for orphans?
Yes. I think that they should be treated like normal human beings.
Okay, you are suggesting they be treated right.
Yes.
But do you think some orphans may go? Any other person? Do you think orphans have to go through this kind of pain?
No.
No. What has changed? You think orphanage owners are nicer now? Do they give more food now?
Yes.
Why do you think so?
Because the last orphanage, the 2 children were treated.
Okay, they looked healthy, right?
No matter how many times the children cried, they always put them back.
Okay, that's good. That's nice. That's good. So, on an ending note, I think we should always show love to people that are orphans, people that are less privileged because they don't have parents. Just imagine you asking for more food in your house. You would be able to go to the pot as many times as you want to. Okay, thank you very much. It has been amazing having this chat with you, each and every one of you. Thank you. See you around. Bye.